You are watching the #1 podcast in the whole entire wrestling community. And I'm one of your hosts, Juan.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Leck.
And together we are
Road Rage.
Family. It is time to talk about predictions and preview of NXT Takeover in your house, and in my house. That is going to be taking place tomorrow night at 7 p.m. on the WWE Network. So, Jean-Paul, are you excited about this? I am. It's going to be
I always love the In Your House pay-per-view moniker. I feel like it was a good way. It's like, what we want to have a pay-per-view, but you have the big four, big five, whatever. And it was a good way to put little pay-per-views in between them. I like it better than the gimmicks like, Backlash that's coming up. Just have it be in your house. Who cares? Just the generic, pay-per-view name. I liked it back in the day. Makes me think of, the new generation, that kind, right before the Attitude Era, early Attitude Era. So I'm excited for this pay-per-view.
Oh yeah, man, it's gonna be a good showing for everybody. NXT is delivering the second pay-per-view on their own, so that's really cool. So let's talk about all the matches that are going to be taking place. Before that, we want to thank Ronnie Flores. We have a great interview with her, so check it out. Is absolutely great person, and Jean-Paul and I found out a lot of things about her in her wrestling career and so much more. So check that out. And, thank you so very much for everybody that has been watching all the videos. Thank you for the new old-time subscribers, because you keep us alive and Robert will never die. So, Jean-Paul, first match for you is going to be Limitless one. Kid Lucius Lee defending the North American Championship against Johnny Gargano. What are your thoughts on this match? Who wins and why?
I think this is going to be a great match, and there's no way that it can't be. I mean, this is a loaded card. The only match that I can see, and it's no knock on any of the people in it, the only match I could see that won't be good is maybe the 6 women match, just because it's so many people involved. But this match could be one of those that steals the show, depending how long they give it. The story is good, too, and I feel like it's only the beginning of the story for Johnny Gargano. But with that being said, I don't think he's going to beat Keith Lee. I'm still going to say Keith Lee's the North American champion, because I feel like when Johnny Gargano wins a title, the way the story's going, Candice LeRae needs to win a title soon, like around the same time. They should almost win titles on the same pay-per-view. So Candice isn't in a title shot this pay-per-view, so I don't think she's going to win it. I don't think Gargano's going to win. I could see in maybe the next Takeover or the following one, Gargano going against Adam Cole, Candice LeRae going against whoever the women's champion, and they both win on the same show. So with that being said, I don't think Gargano's winning here. I'm going with Keith Lee.
Keith Lee for Jean-Paul. For me, I actually think it's going to be Johnny, just because of Johnny's new transformation. I think that in order to solidify, in order to make this legit, they need to put the North American Championship on the waist of Johnny Gargano. I think that Candice is going to help out Johnny to in a bullshit way, completely bullshit fashion, and then they're going to be able to pin the Limitless one. I think that they're going to have a new North American champion, and like you said, probably Candice is going to feel the pressure of having a championship of her own. But for me, it's going to be Johnny Gargano, just because Keith Lee is already beat everybody that in the roster that are kind of below him. And Johnny Gargano, we know, and you've said this in the reviews and everything. You said, Gargano and Ciampa are always going to be on, above everybody else, just because they put NXT on the map.
Oh, yeah.
So that, for me, Gargano is going to be the one becoming the North American champion. The North American champion. Jean-Paul, 6-man women's women's match. It's going to be Tegan Knox. It's going to be Mia Yim. And it's going to be Shotzi Blackheart making her NXT TakeOver debut, going against Gonzalez, Raquel, Dakota Kai, and Candice LeRae.
This match, I gotta go. I would say this is the one I'm gonna go with the heels. I'm gonna go with them to win, because I'm gonna go with the face for, like I said, the first match. Now this one I'm going with the heels. I think this is because you got to have somebody in the Johnny Gargano, Candice LeRae camp. One of them has to win. I'm going to go with Candice, and this will be a way to solidify her character, because Johnny Gargano's character has been solidified. He won the match with Ciampa, everything he did before that. But Candice, we always see her, and we're like, oh, she's legit. Loses against Shayna, loses against Io, loses. It's like, oh, okay, she's legit. but not when it matters. So I think they're going to try to change that. I think she'll win. And also you keep building the babyface sympathy for like a Shotzi Blackheart, Tegan Knox, so I think
I
it'll be
agree with
I
that.
think and Mia Yim, it for her, she's in like a weird spot. I feel she's just going to be like a casualty in this whole kind of story because like Shotzi's the future. Candice, they have a lot of stock in it, and it's like, what's Mia?
Yeah.
She's talented, but they never seem to like know how to really use
Well,
her.
Jean
So
Paul, now you bring this up. There's been reports that we already mentioned this on Raw Break, in our Facebook page also. Io Shirai and Velveteen Dream are gonna join Chelsea Green to be all the NXT call-ups. So like there probably Mia Yim might be in the mix of all of these things. So she might have an opportunity right there. But like you said, this division is so stocked that like you don't know what to really do with these women. But in this situation, Jean Paul, I'm going to agree with you, and I think the heels are going to get the win just because you can do so much more with the developing stories. Why? Because you know that there's like inner feud in between this. Mia Yim going against Candice is the first inner feud, but then Tegan Knox goes against Candice. That's the
Yep.
even bigger feud. Why? Because even like Tegan and Candice have like the cooking show where Candice is teaching Tegan how to cook, how to bake, how to do all these pastries and everything. But now you can actually make a bigger feud out of this because Dakota Kai and Tegan is already like, we're tired.
Yeah. We've seen that, but this
It
adds a
ran
new
its course.
aspect to it. Yeah, exactly. So lots
Yeah.
and I love that we said like with NXT they always can like mesh everything together and it always blends so nice. So
Exactly. So that's going to be really good. But like in this case, I agree with you. It's going to be the heels taking the win. So now next match on the card, Finn Balor, the Prince, going against the guy that wants to live forever, Damian Priest.
this is the toughest match for me to call, honestly. Probably besides I would say the men's championship match, this is definitely the toughest to call. I got to go with Finn Balor though. And it's not like, I'm obviously not looking at this like, who's the better, wrestler, who's the better this, better that. It's all just, what you think they're going to do storytelling wise. And I think with Finn Balor, you got to keep him winning. Because if Damian Priest wins, then whoever wins from Cole and Velveteen Dream, which just might be the case, but whoever wins from that match, Priest is boom. I'm number one contender.
Yeah.
If you beat Finn Balor, I mean, the only other person who could say that would be Karrion Kross when he beats Tommaso Ciampa. But then again, Johnny Gargano just beat Tommaso Ciampa. So shouldn't Gargano be number one contender? You know what I mean? So at that point, I would say it's got to be Damian Priest. He was on a roll. And then, Karrion Kross at some point. But yeah, we'll get to the main event scene when we get to that match. But for this, I'm still going with Finn Balor because I think you got to keep him strong. To me, he's still the real face of NXT. Maybe because I'm an old school guy. He's old school NXT. But he's the face, and it's like you got to keep him winning because at some point he's going to hold the gold again.
I really think that like I have to agree with you on this one also because as Finn Balor is just like the bigger name. And I don't see, if he wins, he doesn't get as much.
Mm-hmm.
While like Damian Priest, if he wins, yeah, he becomes like all the way to main event scene. But, if Adam Cole retains, you're not going to go heel against heel. So for that reason, it's like Damian Priest can't afford the loss. Why? Because it's just Finn Balor. Finn Balor is way above Damian Priest. So that's the reason, like, okay, hey, he's a good feud. That's the end of it. Okay, let's move on to something else. And for example, like if, let's say Keith Lee retains, you can revisit this with Damian Priest, or like you can mix it up in the NXT Championship picture, or like Dexter Lumis might be involved. You don't know. There's so many talent that we haven't seen in like forever. We haven't seen Killian Dane in like forever. But I do think that like Finn Balor is the one that needs to be challenging, the NXT champion, whoever the outcome is. Whoever is either Adam Cole or the Velveteen Dream, I think that like whoever gets that championship, the next contender should be Finn Balor.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jean Paul, time for like triple threat match for the NXT Women's Championship. Charlotte Flair defending against Io Shirai and Rhea. I didn't lose my title, Ripley. So
technically, if you tap out to a figure eight, I would say the title is pretty much lost on your account. But for this, when you said about the call-ups and stuff, we reported that and, you read on it and you're like, you don't want to believe it, but then you see Matt Riddle and he got called up. So it's like, it's probably going to happen, probably true. I don't know when this is going to take place. The way that I would book it is you wouldn't call her up for a while, maybe after SummerSlam, hold off on it. I would have Io Shirai win here. And NXT can book some kind of story from now till SummerSlam weekend. And then you somehow have Candice LeRae. And again, that's when I said you have Candice LeRae. Maybe that's when she beats Io. She finally gets the win over Io because there's a little bit of history there. And then that would be perfect. Then Candice has the title. You build her up. And then that's when somebody like a Tegan Nox, they have history now too. Who's going to beat her? Because she's probably would be one of the number one baby faces on NXT besides Rhea Ripley.
Exactly. Once they leave, Tegan Nox will become the biggest baby face. Yes.
But without looking too much in the future, looking at this right here, I'm going to go with Io. Even with everything said, that might just be the choice from my heart, because the choice from my brain is telling me Rhea. Because I think Charlotte's going to go right back up. I think, for Backlash next weekend, I think Asuka's going to beat Nia. And then it's going to be, Charlotte Flair's going to step right into that role for the Raw Women's Championship. So that's why I don't think the Queen's going to retain. So it's kind of hard, I guess, because like I said, my heart's going Io, but my head's going Rhea.
For me, I want Io so bad. I've been wanting Io so bad, as a wrestler and as I've been wanting like Io to become the champion. And, is about to be a year that like we had NXT Takeover 25, I think it was. And that's the pay-per-view where Adam Cole became the champion. I think it was already a few weeks ago that turned into a year. And that's when Io challenged Shayna Baszler for the title. That's when you should have pull the plug and then put the title on Shirai. Now is the last opportunity that you have to put a title on Shirai, so please do it. Like you said, hey, hold on to her. Like SummerSlam is like 2 months. Give her a little bit of a run. We're not asking her to be like Adam Cole like a whole year, but just put her in like the title picture. Let her win the championship.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, hey, other companies do it too. Like their champions only have a month and a half, 2 months title reign. Hey, you were the champion. You're in the record books. You have pictures, you holding the belt. Everything is legit. But there's so many women here. We got to keep it moving.
Yeah.
So it's not like the old days where people were the champion for 1,400, whatever the hell Bruno Sammartino was. You know what I mean?
To be the champion for 7 years or so. So for that reason, just put the title on Shirai, and then hey, have the feud with, like you said, Rhea Ripley or with Candice. Boom, do the title switch, and everybody's happy because at least we can say that Shirai was the NXT Women's Champion, because even Kyrie was the champion of NXT.
Yeah, Kyrie was legit
Shirai
too.
be when Shirai is as good or even better?
Yeah,
and especially that.
That's what they said. Like they said, when I did the NXT review, Sam Roberts and who's the other guy? Rosenberg. I always forget his name.
Pete Rosenberg.
Yeah, they're like, oh, Io Shirai she might be one of the best wrestlers in all of wrestling, not just women. And it's like, yeah, we agree. So why the hell is she walking around with no gold?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, it doesn't matter what us armchair fans say. We could sit in front of our computers and say she's the best wrestler ever, but until she has gold, that don't mean shit.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. That's the problem. So hopefully that's what they do. So now, Jean-Paul, like you said, this is kind of like I'm gonna book the main event the way that you said it. So we're gonna go to the NXT Championship match. We're gonna go Adam Cole defending against the Velveteen Dream in a blackout match,
a backstreet brawl or something like that. Yeah,
Backstreet's back, all right.
Yeah, exactly.
From '98, second album by the Backstreet Boys. That's something
legit stuff.
Review like in another. That's for another show. That it doesn't matter. But like, Jean-Paul, who wins and why?
Well, with Velvet, if I'm thinking with my head here, but see, my head and my heart are in the same boat on this one. Velveteen Dream's getting called up. See you later. I mean, they could do the swerve where Dream wins it, and he's like, "Oh, the Dream, I'm legit." Then Wednesday he could get his ass beat. He could have to, I have to forfeit. Whatever. Oh, the main roster changes him how they want him. Then they debut him, and it's whatever. I don't see them doing anything kind of bullshit like that. I think Adam Cole is gonna retain. I think Dexter Lumis is gonna get involved, and I think Dexter Lumis is gonna maybe turn on the Dream. And then maybe that's like he'll kind of take the Dream out. They'll feud a little bit, and then you could do something where Dexter Lumis goes after Adam Cole. But then see that again, that would just be, I don't see Dexter Lumis being the NXT champion. So that would be another person you sacrifice to Adam Cole. So I really don't know. It's hard to say, but I don't really see the Dream winning. So I'm going to go with Adam Cole.
And for the family that don't know, we just reported, Jean Paul just reported, Adam Cole has renewed. It's not official, but a good source told us.
Yeah, I heard a
not
multi-year.
She didn't tell us that, but we shut her out. He signed a renew 3 years.
Yep, multi-year. So, and see, this is the thing, too, with that.
He's not going to AEW for the ones that thought that.
You can't keep doing the same dog and pony show for the Undisputed Era. They can't keep coming out, woo, 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 and being heels and screwing people over. You got to change it up. You got to break these guys up. Adam Cole's got to become face. You got to do something. Because, you can't keep running the same thing over with them, especially for 3 more years. So it's exciting to see what they're going to do, but that just shows, hey, we signed you for 3 years. You know that Adam Cole's their future. They're not like, oh, you're just some jabroni. He's the guy who they want to run their brand. So that's another reason why I'm going to say that he wins.
Yeah, I absolutely think that Adam Cole is going to be the one retaining. Adam Cole is the man in NXT. Adam Cole is the longest, probably. I think he's closer, or he's already the longest NXT champion of all time.
For Finn Balor? Yeah, he beat Finn Balor. That's why they had that.
He and stuff, the Velveteen Dream already. He's going to be called up to the main roster. I don't know why they need the Velveteen Dream in the main roster. I don't know why they need Matt.
Okay, you put him on SmackDown. If I'm booking SmackDown and you put him there, my first feud with him is John Morrison. The matches they'd have would be legit. And the promo work, because Morrison's good on the promo when he's not having to say bullshit shit with The Miz.
Yeah, no, it will be good. But, I don't think the Velveteen Dream is going to win. Like Jean Paul mentioned on the NXT review, this match was already taped. So, they had to actually stop the match because the rain has started. So they had to wait for the rain to be over, and then they re-filmed some parts of the match. And then, they finished, around 2 o'clock. So that's why the talent was pissed. Because they had to keep them on their feet, waiting for the rain to be over. So, but I really feel that the Velveteen Dream will not go into the main roster as saying that he was NXT champion. I think Adam Cole retains, and that's fine. Dexter Lumis helps. I'm so happy with that. If that happens, I will not be upset. But that's the mini main event, and the main event, according to Jean Paul the Booker, is going to be the debut, in a takeover of Karrion Kross. Thank you, Karrion Kross, because every time we tag him in Instagram, he actually replies and he says thanks. So thank you, Karrion. Thank you, Scarlett. And that's why my heart is telling me that Karrion Kross is going to win, because Tommaso Ciampa has not said anything about us. So I'm going to be a little biased, and Karrion beat his ass.
Yeah, well, I agree with the winner. If Karrion's responding and Ciampa's not, then you also obviously know who I like. But I don't like what I've been saying for weeks. This match can't be longer than 5 minutes. It's got to be, Doomsday Saito, the straight jacket or whatever. Is it straight jacket?
The straight jacket, yes.
Yep, and done.
And
I'm not saying in that kind of quick succession. Let Ciampa, maybe try to set up the fairy tale ending or try to set up the Widow's Bell or whatever that draping DDT is. Let him get a little offense. Let him try to set it up. But then it's got to be carrying all the way. It's
no more than like you said, 5-6 minutes.
It's got to be dominant. This can't be a Shawn Michaels Undertaker. Oh, he kicked out of the Saito. Oh, he broke the straitjacket. Oh, he almost made the Dooms or the air raid crash for a near 3 count. No, there can't be we can't ever be sweating. And it's nothing against Ciampa, but it's the same problem that AEW has where they can't get nobody over. You can't bring a monster in, especially I always go to what Byron Saxton said. Why the hell did we – he's like, who signed this guy? Why did you unleash this monster on NXT? That's how you get this guy over. If you call him a monster, you betray him like a monster, and that's what they got to do on Sunday.
Yeah, and that's pretty much But the one thing that we know is that the pay-per-view is going to be good. It's going to be worth watching. It's going to be great. NXT.
Oh, definitely.
Prize themselves into giving us great pay-per-view caliber.
Yeah, you might not like all the outcomes, but there's no way you're going to watch a takeover and be like, this was awful.
Exactly. There's no way. So, we both know the one thing I hope that, like I said, Karen Cross, wins. So I
Hmm.
hope that,
The,
like,
the the only match that I'm hoping for really specific outcome is the Io Shirai. That
oh
is the
yeah.
only one I'm like, please, just even if she wins it and literally on Wednesday is like, hey, I'm done, and gives it up. I don't
If
care.
she
At
does
least
the
she.
Christian way, that's
Yep.
fine. So, Jean Paul, this ends up for previews and predictions. You and me will be back
Hmm.
tomorrow after the pay per view is over. In both languages, we'll be here in absolute great and plain English and also in Spanish. So, we're going to be talking about every single match, every single outcome. Are we going to be happy? Are we going to be upset? You got to watch, tune in, find out. So, Jean Paul, where people can find us in the
Well,
social
like we
media?
said,
Well,
we broke a little bit of wrestling news here in this previews and predictions if you weren't keeping up on it. But if you do want to keep up on it, follow us on Facebook, The Original Rope Break, Twitter, The OG Rope Break, Instagram, The Original Rope Break again. And for all the meat and the potatoes to fill your belly on this warm day, maybe we should be frying up some burgers and hot dogs on the grill instead for you. But for all that good eating, right here on YouTube, The Original Rope Break.
that's fine, and that's absolutely correct. So, Jean Paul, you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is. Uh,
Duh.